Hello and welcome to Trekkie and Beyond, a Star Trek podcast. I'm Monica.
And I'm Andrea, and welcome to episode 13 of season 2, part 1. So this episode is a hodgepodge of a lot of action, a lot of decisions, and a lot of fast-paced action. So instead of doing a little bit of a recap, we're just going to discuss what did we like in this episode and what we didn't. So Monica, what is your initial reaction about this episode?
Hated it. It's like, for me, it's one of the worst because I feel like they were rushing it because they probably know that they're like close to the number of episodes that they need for probably Paramount. So they're rushing to trying to fill plot holes, but they end up creating even more plot holes and a disconnect for me. I'm really confused by this. So I just hated it. What did you think?
I did not hate this episode, but I did not love this episode. I agree with you. It was a very rushed episode. When I started it, I was just like, wait, hold on. This isn't how episode 12 ended. Like where did episode 12 ended with them being surrounded by ships. And in this episode, the ships aren't there yet. And Enterprise is there. And I was like, I don't remember Enterprise being there. This episode left a lot, like you said, left a lot more plot holes than it was filling. And I also agree, it was very rushed. I did like the action pack of it, like how it was like gun ho, like go, and it wasn't so much more on the emotional side. It was more actiony, which is what I like. For those who, if you haven't watched it yet, if you have watched it yet, this episode literally takes place seconds after episode 12 ends. Like, it felt like they were redoing the ending to 12 at the beginning of 13. Did you think that?
Yes. And there was a disconnect because it didn't I know what they were supposed to pick up there, but they started the episode with Sarek's meditation. So it kind of took me off guard because he was thinking about Michael, but I was like, oh, okay. So it didn't exactly pick up, but then they tried to pick it back up again. So the momentum changed for me.
Yeah, it's this is different. That beginning scene with Sarek and Amanda was a little bit different. I'm gonna be honest, every scene with Sarek and Amanda was a little bit different in this episode. Yes. What did you like? Did you like anything from this episode? Her name starts with a T.
Terry and Giorgio?
Tilly.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Sorry, I don't know why I'm dwelling on a negative for this. Yes, I did like Tilly.
The one thing you liked.
Yes, you're right. I did like Tilly and Queen Poe.
Yeah. But I liked Tilly and Poe. I really did like how Poe interacted with Giorgio. She's like, I don't like snark. One thing about being queen is I don't have to deal with snark. I made it into a law. And like how Giorgio was just like, what? Who are you talking to? I love that she is this ball of energy, and it's like she's a mix of Tilly's like craziness, but almost I don't know. I feel like she was a perfect combination of like Tilly, Jet, and Michael. Yeah. She made the decision of like, I'm gonna leave my planet to help you guys out, like Michael would have, like Michael did. She has the the excitability of like Tilly. Or like the likability of Tilly, and then she had like the brain of Jet, because only Jet could realize what she was doing when she was doing like quantum physics in the air that no one else could see. Right. So I was like, I don't know, she was like a perfect combination of them, and she's like, I like you, and Jet's like, I like you too.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me of that. You're absolutely right. I did like that banter and that interaction, and I like anyone who puts Terry and Giorgio in check. And I felt like she did that.
And she did it without even like thinking about it.
Right.
And even to go into your point about putting Terry and Giorgio in check, earlier in the episode when they were trying to come up with decisions after they realized that they couldn't destroy Discovery and they couldn't, because the sphere data would not allow itself to be destroyed, and they were trying to come up with a plan. And Giorgio was like, well, just find the closest supernova and shoot an antimatter missile into it. And everyone's like, but you would kill millions of people. Okay. And they're like, and Michael's face of, we're not doing that. And she's like, I thought there were no bad ideas. And Pike was like, that was a lie. And then the commander was like, no, the admiral was like, we're not doing that. there are wrong ideas. What? And I'm like, why are you guys so horrified? This is who she is.
Well, and they invited her on to Discovery, and I don't even understand how she caught up with them. Like, and
yeah, where did she come from?
she just boarded, but they're on the run. So and control, they're trying to escape control. So they give her the coordinates, and she's part of Section 31. I don't get it.
There was so much in this episode I didn't understand. I also didn't understand. So we're jumping around this episode, guys. So this is a little bit different than our normal setup because this episode was just so crazy. Why did this? The whole plan was for Michael to jump to the future with the ship and then sever her connection with the ship and come back. That's the plan. Why then did people decide to stay on the Discovery and go with her? I don't understand that decision. Like, that decision of them deciding to go with her doesn't make sense to me, because the whole plan, granted, things could go wrong and she could get stuck in the future. I understand that, but why would you allow everyone to be stuck when the plan is to not bring the ship back? So, like, why would you go with her when the plan is not to bring the ship back? That decision didn't make sense to me. I did not understand. I mean, it was cute having everyone say their goodbyes to their families and everything. Paul talking to his brother about, like, you know, you always say they like me more, but I'm just louder. I liked that, but I still just didn't understand that decision, because it didn't make sense for them to go on a mission on a ship that is planned to never come back when Michael's planned to come back.
I agree with you. I don't understand that. But even going back a little bit further, I don't understand why they thought that they could self-destruct Discovery. Like, the spear would not let them delete it. So why would you think that the spear would allow you to self-destruct? So yes, you're going to have to work on a plan B. And I don't know why they volunteered for this mission, except to be a team player. Is that part of, like, just the Starfleet way? But she's not captain. And she's known for making decisions that put them all in jeopardy. But yes, they've volunteered, except for Ash. Ash was quick to leave.
Well, because Ash, I will say this, Ash had a good point. Like, there needed to be people behind just in case her plan didn't work. And he already works well in the shadows.
Right.
So he has knowledge and connections that some other people in Starfleet may not have. I mean, granted, if I was Ash, I probably wouldn't go for it either, because it's like, yeah, don't sign up for that.
Right. But Nan isn't part of Discovery. And she decided to permanently transition from Enterprise to Discovery to go.
The security officer?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So she volunteered, even more so than even the rest of the crew, right? There was no obligation there for her. And then also Terry Georgiou is still on Discovery, so she's gonna go into the future with them. Oh. That's crazy. And then Spock is there.
And here's the thing about Spock. His parents came to say bye to her, but they couldn't, like, you couldn't even spare a scene of them talking to their own. I don't know. I just, how did you not, like, I don't remember seeing him send a message to his parents saying goodbye, right. At least. And no matter what universe, no matter what rendition we get of Spock, he loves his mama.
Right.
And we didn't see even, like, an interaction between them. Like,
right. Sarek said something about them being, like, estranged.
But him and Spock, not Spock and his mother.
Right. So we just saw Amanda, like, in a hologram a few episodes ago with Michael, and Spock entered and they chatted for a bit, at least a one-on-one time. All these other goodbyes, long goodbyes in this episode. I was surprised, like you, not to see a connection, some FaceTime between at least Amanda and Spock. Get the whole family back together again.
Yeah, I definitely, there's just so much. We also see a nice little scene between Paul and Hugh, which I thought it broke my heart. I'm not gonna lie, it did break my heart, that scene between them. Because I'm losing hope that they're going to get back together. But like growth is very important in any relationship. And if you feel like you need to be apart to grow, like and do honest growth, because you can't like I understand that Hugh is not the same person and he just feels like he can't be in that same bubble that or the same person he was before his death. So I like they were mature about it, and you could tell that they still cared about each other as they were like saying what their future plans were. Like Hugh's going to the to the Enterprise, and Paul is going to try and go to the Vulcan Science Academy. So their little goodbye with each other before Paul decided I'm going to go to the future for no reason was cute. It needed. I feel like it was closure that they both needed to make sure that they were like good at the end of their relationship.
But that's just it. Why, once again, is Paul setting aside his career goals for Michael's mission? Like he did that in the very beginning of the season, and he's doing it again. Boy, go do your thing.
So I feel. So I will say, Pike did try to take on this mission himself, but then it was pointed out that it would only work for Michael's DNA. So my hope and goal is that they're doing this for the good of Starfleet. Because maybe they jump to the future and it's not far enough, and they need someone to command the ship to make sure it doesn't fall into bad hands. Here's the issue with going to the future. If Control is a robot, he can just lay dormant until there's no real end to Control unless you destroy it here and now. So you push the ship 500 years in the future, you still have the issue of Control, who took over 30 Section 31 ships. So who's to say that they even need, air to breathe, that the bodies don't desiccate because it's all nanobots now. So like they could just go somewhere, hibernate for 500 years and turn the ship back on later. So I'm like, going to the future doesn't seem like a solution. It seems like a Band-Aid.
I agree. I also believe that they have formed some really good alliances this season.
They have.
With the Talos, and they can create holograms. They created like these pretend wormholes. Like, is there any way in which they could cloak Discovery or like put it behind a pretend wormhole to buy some time for, I don't know, 6 months to think this through and figure out a long-term solution? But call your friends, call some lifelines. Oh, but they didn't. They always seem to go to extreme measures.
So on this next half of the episode, we're going to talk about some of the things, again, that just did not make sense. One of the things that didn't make sense to me, and I would like to know if it makes sense to you, we see that Michael touched the time crystal and she got a little bit of a vision. Leland boarding the ship, and like he just wrecks the entire bridge crew. And the first time I watched it, I was like, oh crap, they all died. And then the second time I watched it, I realized, wait a minute, that was just only the Discovery crew. No one from the Enterprise was on that ship. So why are they showing her this vision while she's on the Enterprise ship? Because it made it seem like what the Enterprise was directly about to do was going to have that outcome. Her like, stop, this isn't going to work, didn't really make sense. I mean, granted, yes, we know that the shields were up, so it wasn't going to work. But from that vision, she would not have known that. Like from that vision, it almost seemed like she had that vision, like almost like a Final Destination thing, to like stop the imminent attack that was about to happen. But the imminent attack wasn't about to happen because they weren't on the correct ship. No one from the Enterprise crew was on that ship. Pike wasn't there, first officer, the admiral. It was like you saw how everyone was going to die, but at the wrong time. And so when she like spoke up and voiced that this isn't going to work, and everyone just again blindly believes her. Why don't you just explain? I touched the time crystal and it showed me a vision, and now we're in the middle of that vision. I know it's not going to work. Why not just say that? Because that, like in this world, that's more believable than just having blind faith.
I'm also surprised that Pike did not tell her not to touch it when he was leaving Michael in the room with the time crystal. Because as Pike was walking out of the room, he turned around. It looked like he was going to say something, but he didn't say it. He just kept walking out. And so Like, is it don't tell Michael not to touch something because she will touch it? Or do you not? Like, because he knows how like it affected him, and to see how that dangerous that can be. And we all know also how Michael overreacts to things. I don't know. I just thought that he could have had a diplomatic way. He's been so nicely like able to coach everyone in on the ship, and he didn't coach her or even so it's like this, there's this magic box there that can help solve this, but they don't know the restrictions. They don't know what they should not be doing with that.
Yeah,
this is not a toy. This is not and it can mess with your mind, according to what Ash Laurel's son said. This could be like, this can mess with your mind and make you go crazy. And that's the thought that I had at first when I saw Michael's flashback, was like, oh, is she like stepping into some sort of like strange mental state, and where it's hard to tell between reality and future? I don't know. I'm confused by that.
Again, a lot of plot holes that just were not making sense. As funny as this episode was, as some of the great scenes that they gave us, of like the interactions with everyone, it seemed so rushed, and I don't really know how to like let that part go, how to forgive that part, you know? Okay. One, how are you not gonna have Spock's mom talk to him? That woman loves her son. That boy loves his mom. He is a mama's boy. And they only see Michael. This show makes it seem they prefer Michael to Spock, almost, to an extent. Like, to the point where they overcompensate. It's like, and I don't know if it's like a conscious thing that they're doing, but it makes it seem like they overcompensate for Michael losing her parents. Like, they double down with her, and like not with their own son. And it just makes me feel uncomfortable, because it doesn't seem like they love both their children equally.
Yeah, there's something strange. I feel a disconnect with their character arc for this version of Spock, because also he's not in Starfleet uniform. He's not in like the Enterprise uniform. He's not in Discovery. He's wearing casual like black clothes. So is he still on leave? I don't know. It's a weird state, but he seems to he definitely cares about Michael and wants to help her with this. But I don't understand how he could go to the future when he needs to be on the Enterprise later. Like, the Enterprise has to have Spock. Like
yeah, no, like you can't not have Spock on the Enterprise. Right. It just doesn't really work like that. We also see Jet touch the time crystal, and she sees like almost somewhat of a similar vision that Michael saw, which is interesting. So maybe like the vision wasn't just for Michael; it was for anyone who was on the Discovery.
Well, it's supposed to show their fate, right? So how they die, and if they're both on that ship, then I'm hoping they don't all die that way. And I hope we have lots of episodes to come. We can't end this series so quickly.
I mean,
I'm too invested into this.
I don't really know what's going to happen. I will say another funny thing, though, I will say this episode was Georgiou telling Pike that she's tearing JoJo from the mirror universe, and like he gives her a wink, like, what is that? Like, because he's not supposed to know what it is.
Right. But he figured it out.
That was a cute thing. How do you think that they could fix this episode? Like, I mean, how do you think they could solve it in the next episode? Because I feel like there's a lot of questions left unanswered. I don't know how they're going to solve it in the next one.
Well, somehow Spock needs to beam back aboard the Enterprise. He can't go to the future without a return. That he has to do. So that has to happen. Saru needs to be the captain, at least before this journey. So the Admiral just needs to declare, however they declare, whatever, that Saru is now the captain, and give him, so that there's some authority on the ship. That Pike just left it up in the air. that's one thing I didn't like about Pike, and I know I'm a big Pike supporter, but he wasn't a good like manager for that. That was weird. And he looked to Michael, and then he looked to Saru like, no, if Michael's gonna be the Red Angel, she can't also captain the ship. So they have to resolve that so that there's a true leader for this big mission. I also think that Jet is going to help with, I guess, setting Jet and Queen Poe, who did not leave the ship.
Yeah.
So Jet and Queen Poe is going to help to figure out the time crystal and ensure that they can, I don't know, fix it so that they can quickly travel in time.
I just want to know what this vision is. I just really want to know how this vision is going to come into hand, that Michael had comes into play, because it doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't fit in any part in this episode.
Oh, unless they die, but since she's the Red Angel, she can go back in time and fix it. I don't know. Like because or her mother. Her mother's still a Red Angel. No.
Yeah, no, because her mom's suit is damaged. But we also there is one thing I forgot to mention. So it is like sort of stated out loud, and I think that we spoke about it like last episode, that it is believed that Michael sent the 7 signals.
Right.
That she's the one who did it. And it's just a question of, if I did it, why did I do it? No, of course. Okay. If you didn't know why the signals were coming before, why do you automatically assume you're gonna get the answer? Whatever, Michael. Stop. No. So yes, you're the one we I think we were correct. Michael is the one who sent who's going to send the 7 signals. And I like how Giorgio sort of called them out for, like, are we just gonna wait for a random signal? They, well, all the signals came when we needed them before, so we're just gonna wait for a random signal. That's what we're waiting on. Okay, and then of course that's when they get the options, and Tilly's like, oh wait, I know the queen of that planet. And I was like, wait, you know the queen? So that was a cute little answer to it. Is the 7 signals are coming when they need them. So meaning I think they've only gotten 5 signals so far, so there's still 2 signals to come. So one that sort of lets us know that they survived wherever they are to send the signals. Someone is sending the signals to help them. So that's very interesting, that it lets us know, because time's a loop. So like, they can't get the signals if someone didn't go to the future and send them. So we don't know who made it. It's assumed that it's going to be Michael, but they're sending the signals back to the past. So we know that has to happen because they're already received them. So for them to receive them, someone has to be there to send them. So that's an answer to a question, but I don't know why she's doing it.
Harry Mudd solves all of this. He goes back and forth in time, and
Harry Mudd can go kick rocks.
He knows how to work these time crystals. So reach out to him.
He can go kick rocks.
Wow, they should have snatched up his time crystal a long time ago. Wow, yeah, that's a good question. But Control is caught up with them, surrounding them now.
And
they're
little fighter jets,
right? And the spore drive needs time to reboot, so they can't jump again right now.
So what? We're coming near the end of this episode, because, sorry people, there was only so much we could talk about in this episode because there's so many questions more than answers. What is something that you would like to see? And like, we only have one more episode in the season, so like, what is something you would like to see before this season ends?
Well, 2 things. I would like to see Saru become captain, because I'm also looking for a non-human-like captain of a Starfleet ship. And then 2, I need to find out more about these Red Angels, and Michael then joins. I'm looking forward to seeing Michael in the suit. I want to see the suit on Michael and the Red Angel, because I also like the costumes in the series, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. What about you?
I have no idea, except that I want that vision to make sense, because if you're going to Final Destination us, you got to do it correct. Okay. make that scene make sense. Because in Final Destination, the action still happened, but because the guy knew what was going to happen, he changed his future. So at some point, this scene has to happen. But why did you show it on the wrong ship? Because it didn't make sense for the scene that they showed it, in my mind, at least. That's what I
guess it carries with you no matter where you're at, because Pike saw his destiny and he was on Enterprise and he was on that planet. So I don't know.
No, that's true.
But speaking of Final Destiny,
right.
Would you want to ever see your Final Destiny? Would you want to, if you had a chance to touch the time crystal and see?
Yes. The answer is yes. I would. I'm that person. I don't like surprises. If you could tell me how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, tell me. I need to know. I'm that person who hates surprises. Do not keep crap from me. If I know, because I'm going to be honest, it was like, look, you get on that ship and you die. I'm not going to get on the ship. Yeah. I'm not going to get on the ship. I'm just not going to get on the ship. Like, tell me, let me know how I'm supposed to, like, no. I want to see it all. Final Destination me.
Got it.
Let me know.
So for our listening and viewing audience, would you want to see your Final Destiny? Some people don't. Like, they want to just live their life, like, just in the moment. Would you touch the time crystal to find out your fate and when and how you would die? Whew, tough question. That's kind of
would you do it?
I don't know. Because I think it would change every moment of my day. I don't know.
I would do it in a heartbeat. I may have like a total meltdown, like after finding out.
Yes.
But like if I die in my sleep, you know how amazing that would be? Like, okay, I'm like, all right, I'm old and wrinkly, so I know I have at least have like another 20 years, 30 years before I'm going to die in my sleep. Perfect. Or I died in a car crash. Okay, I just need to know how old I look. Okay, it's that year. All right, that year may be stressful, but at least, I don't know, like if I have a deadline to all the things that I could do, I'm going to live my life to the fullest. So that way, when that day comes, my family's set and ready. I'm ready. I've done everything I wanted to do. Because like we don't know when we're dying. So to find out my end date, yes. Because then even if it was like 3 weeks from now, do you know I will quit my job so fast? Like, dude says, I'm not coming in on Monday. I'm going on a cruise around the world. I will give me the credit card debt. I have life insurance. My mom can pay it off later. Like,
that's a good point. And sometimes I could be a chicken about these types of things, but I think I would be too tempted. I'm just too curious, and I would end up touching it. I
need to know. I need to know, like, whether it's like 50 years from now or a year from now. If I only have a year left, I'm living my life very differently for this next year. I'm going to just go out. I'm like, look, fix this leg right now. Do what you got to do. Fix this leg because I have to travel. I need to see countries before I die. I need to put everything is in my brain. I would be like Hamilton. How do you write like you're running out of time? Like I would just write all of the outlines, every idea, and just be like, all right, people, this is everything I've ever wanted to write in my entire life. I'm not going to be here to do it all. So just take my work and run. Like, yes, it would be nerve-wracking and I probably would have a breakdown immediately after finding out, but I need to know. I need to know.
See, you helped me in this episode, our episode of this podcast, on a high note. And so this was fun.
This was fun. So thank you guys for checking us out. And as always, I'm Andrea.
I'm Monica.
Live long and prosper.